What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here, and here we have the much anticipated and long delayed Romm Comm.
We always say, oh, we'll get better, we'll get better.
Yeah, we don't actually get any better. Turns out being married is busy.
Yeah.
So you got some topics for us today, Jan. Why don't you introduce yourself? There's a lot of new subscribers. They probably don't know who you are.
Oh, so I'm Mrs. Rabbit.
That's right.
I'm Briar's wife.
That's right.
We just got married a couple months ago. So,
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm
That
here.
sums it up.
Yeah.
All right, so you got this video we like to do. Jan likes to pick up some topics for the video, and we go over them and kind of have a good time. So, Jan, what's your first topic?
So bullies.
Bullies.
You mentioned a couple of videos back that you know, bullies are online on YouTube and putting comments in certain people's.
Well, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. You know, you hear the word bully and you think of school or online on Facebook, but you typically think of children as bullies.
That's true.
But adults can be bullies too, and I actually worked with a bully.
That's
in
right.
The workplace.
It was a major life event for you because it not only it not only was torture, but it basically changed your career. It gave you a major career setback.
Majorly. I worked with a woman for 5.5 years, and she just bully, you know, and I would go to the supervisors. We tried working things out on our own, face-to-face, confrontation. And this woman just had a horrible mean streak where she was just mean. And it came to a head one day, and she majorly bullied me and cornered me in my own laboratory at work. And I felt in danger. So, and HR wouldn't do anything. Management wouldn't do anything.
That's ridiculous. You know, this stuff, it's rare to hear about bullying stories like that as an adult. It's really rare. And, you know, you hear a lot about, you know, just stick it out, get through high school, it gets better. As soon as you get to college, it gets way better. And then especially after college, you know, you rarely hear about it in college, but especially after college, once you enter the workforce, you can pick your friends, you can pick where you go. You rarely hear about it, you know, because if you run into somebody, you know, there's avenues of real, you know, there's real things you can do about it. You get the police involved if somebody's, you know, confronting you physically. You get HR involved at work, but sometimes you just run into a company that's just not effectively dealing with something like this, and that's what you ran into. And it was a rough situation. I still don't know the answer to that one.
I know.
You know, it was a real setback because you had to leave that job because you hated going there so much because you felt, you know, bullied.
Yeah. I was never bullied in school. As a child, through high school, I just was never bullied. Never had to deal with it. And then to suddenly get it in my 20s at work, or 30s, whatever, and it just was a surprise. And this was a proprietary company, so we couldn't involve local law enforcement in it. So I ended up walking out of a wonderful career that I loved, and I had to start over at another company. Square one.
I don't even know where to go with this.
I know.
This is depressing,
It is. So let's move on.
Please.
All right. So one of the things when you're planning a wedding is like you have to sign into accounts with your email, and they send you mailings about planning the wedding. Well, you figure after the wedding those mailings will stop. They don't. They send you new topics like how to make your marriage work.
Okay.
So one of the things I read, there were some research articles supporting these ideas. So the top 9 problems that marriages have.
Oh, okay. This should be good. Top 9. We got a top 9 list. I like lists.
So this is kind of appropriate. The digital communication age.
Yep.
You know, you spend a lot of time texting, emailing, whatever, your spouse. You don't really...
Not me.
You don't talk face to face.
Oh.
So it kind of strips feelings from your conversations, and you're not fully engaging with each other. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean,
that one hits home, I think.
Do we do a lot of, like, this texting each other?
Yeah, we do a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah?
I think we do.
All right, so that's something we may have to work on. More face-to-face conversations.
All right, what's number 2 on the list?
Watching TV, couples, and romance. So I thought this one was kind of weird. So you watch the on-screen romances, and it causes you to distance yourself from your spouse.
Oh, because what they're portraying in this Hollywood version of romance is so much better than what you're actually experiencing?
Yeah. And
that's messed up. Yeah.
It makes you less committed to your own relationship.
Oh, that's fucked.
Now, we don't really watch shows that have, like, romance.
No.
I mean, Walking Dead and...
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. So, all right, number 3. This kind of is... I can understand this. Sleep. Poor sleep equals... poor common sense, and less concentration makes for bad communication. So I mean, if
that's
you're
true.
Tired, you're snappy, you may just blurt out.
I'm awful at that. If I'm tired, like, just stay away from me because I'm in a bad mood. Like, if I don't, and I'm bad too. Like, I need 8 hours of sleep. I'm not like, if you get me 6 hours of sleep, I might be okay the next day, but I'm definitely a little bit edgy. If you give me two days worth of 6 hours of sleep, I'm just in a foul mood, and you want to just stay away from me because I'm gonna snap at you. You know, like, even if you're just relating, like, your day's events, I'll be like, "You're an idiot. Get out of my face."
It's like in the morning, I wake up and I don't want to talk to anyone when I first wake up, even if it's just a nap.
You take like an hour to get, like, into
like don't.
Most people I know, like, they get out of bed, they immediately, like, you know, maybe they'll grab a cup of coffee, you know, take a shower, and then they're on their way. Jan needs like an hour before she's ready to get in the shower. You know, it's a long time. So if she needs to be somewhere at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're talking like a 4 o'clock wake up for that. It's insane. All right, what do you got?
All right, small everyday gestures trump grand adventures. So you might go through everyday life. You know,
I completely agree with that.
I love you. And then you go on some romantic getaway thinking, I'm good for 6 months.
Yeah, no. I completely agree with that. It's like, it's all about letting somebody know that you love them on a daily basis with small gestures. You know, maybe it's bringing like a single flower home on a Wednesday, or just like grabbing them and giving them a hug for no reason. Stuff like that, I think, is really what it's all about.
Yeah, and they gave the example of making your spouse a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, my husband and I never fight. We have the perfect relationship. Never fighting does not equal, you know, a lovely relationship. It actually means you're not being truthful with each other.
Yeah.
So arguing is
You gotta stuff
healthy.
those feelings inside like a real man.
So basically, if you're not fighting, you're not being honest, and that you should have open dialogue, communication about problems.
Makes sense to me.
So, and avoiding arguments leads to stress hormones.
Yeah, because if you're always upset about something but you never express it, then you're sitting there with that, and then it can build into something that, you know, you're gonna be resentful about, you know, and like say, let's make something up. Like, say you always left your dish like on the counter, you never cleaned up your dish, and I never said anything because it's such a small thing, right? Like, who wants to get in a fight about a dish on a counter? Nobody. But if you never say anything and it happens day after day after day, eventually this stress is just going to build up inside you, and one day you'll be like, what the fuck is with this dish, man? How come you never clean up this dish? I'm out of here, I'm leaving. Right? You know,
and you're like,
just getting,
where the hell did this come from?
Yeah, right? And the other person's like, you know, so I think it's best to just put it out there.
Yeah.
Jan thinks I'm complaining a lot, but I just think it's better to put it out there.
Okay. This I thought was kind of out there. Divorcing friends can cause your own divorce.
Really?
Yes. So, and not just like groups of friends, but like coworkers, or, you know, just social groups you hang out with or work with.
Because they just have a foul attitude about relationships?
I guess, well, the example they gave is your spouse's wife or your friend's wife cheated on him. So now you start becoming wary of your own wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of hokey, but it's based on...
It sort of makes sense, but if you really trust your spouse, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, and it's the people that divorce because their friends divorce. It's not a reflection of their relationship. It's just how they perceive it. So I don't know. Date night. I thought this was interesting. Men are spontaneous, while women require planning. They prefer planning ahead. This is not us.
No. That's like the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I plan things ahead, like, to the minute. You know, like, I plan a day ahead. Like, here's what time I'm making this video. Here's what time I'm making some gameplay recordings. Here's what time I'm washing the car. Here's what time me and Janice are doing this together. So, and then I got 3 things after me and Janice. So if I have thought that me and Janice were going to do something at a certain time and Janice is not ready, it's like, it's a problem for me.
We fight about this.
We do. We fought about this since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's something that we're still learning to deal with, frankly. But it's like, I meticulously plan things out, partially because I'm so fucking busy. Yeah. You know, I have 2 jobs. I do the YouTube. You know, we have the kids. You know, there's softball, kids baseball. You know, there's all these things that I'm constantly trying to juggle. And I want to make time for each one of those things. But when somebody throws a wrench in that, even if it's like a 10 or 15 minute wrench, like, it really fucks shit up for me. Jan knows it. And she tries to, like, kind of accommodate it. But sometimes...
Yeah, I mean, if I'm working all day and I have an hour's commute to work and then an hour home, and I work like 9 to 10 hour days sometimes, not all the time, but if that happens on a weekend and I'm coming home and I'm tired and we have plans for that night, I might be like, you know what, can I just like meet up with you later on? I just need like an hour to decompress or a half hour to just, you know.
Which sounds reasonable, except... Like, I've already got it planned out. Like, we're meeting for dinner at 7 o'clock with these 2 friends. I have to be home by 11 o'clock so I can get sleep because I'm working for the photo company at, 7 o'clock. I got an hour drive to get there. So I actually have to get up at 5 o'clock. So I can't stay up all night. So if Jan wants to come out at 9 o'clock, that means that we're going to pass by each other. Yeah. And it's like, well, what the fuck's the point of going out?
Yeah.
If we're not even going to see each other there.
We just need to... adjust ourselves, I think.
Yeah, we're still working on that, frankly. We're still working on that.
We'll talk later on that.
Okay.
Anyway, apologizing isn't always enough. So I guess this means deal directly about the issue and make a compromise. So if I were to do something wrong and you nail me on it and I'm like, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, that's not enough.
No, yeah, because then it just happens again and then you're like, well... And then you apologize again.
Well, even if it doesn't happen again, like, the apology doesn't really mean anything. It's just words. You have to show or make a compromise. Like, try to make a sacrifice to show that you truly are sorry. It's kind of like when you tell a kid, write an apology note to someone and draw them a nice picture. Or
sure. To show that you actually put some effort into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then the last one is one...
Oh, yeah. You told me about this one outside, didn't you? Dreams.
Dreams. So when you dream about your spouse in like a violent dream, and they're typically not a violent person or they're just being a jerk in your dream, you wake up feeling like this anxiety against your spouse and you're like, oh, and you can start behaving towards them in that fashion. Like in your dream, he was a jerk. He called me names. He pushed me around. He beat me. And then you wake up and you're like treating him as such.
This happens in this house. Literally.
Yeah.
Not to the extent, like, I don't think you've ever had a dream that I beat you.
No, you made me move out of the house or something.
So, I am a merciless asshole in her dreams. Like, and merciless.
He's not a jerk.
I remember one time she woke up and she was pissed at me. And she's like, oh, I had the worst dream. We were all at Disney World. And you were up in a tower dancing while Disney World was on fire, and we were running away. Me and the boys were running away, and you're just up there dancing and have a good time. You're such a jerk. Like, what the what did I do? So that happens all the time here.
Yeah, and I'll wake up and be like, oh my God, I had the weirdest dream.
I don't even want to hear them. Like, if she tells me I had the weirdest dream, I want to walk away because every one of them has something to do with me being a dickhead. Like, I don't need that kind of stress.
No. So that's our 9.
Those were good. I like those. All right.
That was a good article.
Is that your last topic?
That's my last topic. Was there anything that you wanted to talk about?
No, I pretty much talk about everything I want to talk about. I mean, This is like my 18th video for the week.
Oh my goodness. So, at the end of every Romm Comm, I'm supposed to pose a question to David.
Jan's impossible question.
Impossible. He doesn't know what the question is.
That's right.
I just spring it on him.
Just for funsies.
Just for funsies. So, in the news recently, well, not just recently, the past few years, we've heard about young children committing horrific acts of violence.
Oh, like the Slenderman girls?
Like the Slenderman girls.
Yeah.
Or, school shootings, which is horrible. So,
yeah.
All right, this is a scenario that there's some random 12-year-old kid. He could be, he's in your hometown. He could even be in your neighborhood, all right? And he mows your lawn, pet sits for you. Great kid. No warning signs. And out of nowhere, he commits murder. I mean, it could be his teacher.
So he's not my kid. I just know the kid? Or do I even know him?
You know him. Like, he mows your lawn.
Oh, he mows the lawn.
Yeah. So the kid seems stable enough, so he did this horrific crime. Should he be tried as an adult? Like, say he murdered another kid, like those 12-year-old Slenderman girls.
Yeah.
He spent weeks planning it, and he murdered.
Man, I'm always so torn about this because kids that age, they're so impressionable, and like they're really making bad decisions. Like they're constantly doing stuff because they don't know any better, or because like somebody told them it was okay, or they saw it on TV, or for some reason they thought like the end result was going to be different than it was, or they didn't even think about the end result. Like they don't even think that far. They think about to the act, but they don't think about consequences. They haven't developed that yet. But in that act, I mean, those girls, like that's just like murder, right? Man, I feel for those two girls, right? Because clearly, they clearly have some serious emotional issues and psychological issues. And for a mistake for something that you did when you were 12 years old, do you deserve to spend the rest of your life in prison? I don't know. Like, it's a tough question.
So,
oh, that wasn't a question?
No, that was the question, okay. But I'm gonna switch it a little bit. What if it was your son?
What if it was my son?
What if it was your son? Would you stand behind him no matter what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I have to, right? He's my son.
Okay.
And whatever he is, I'm part of that. I'm part of the cause of what he did.
What would be your reaction to, like, the media?
I think what I just said.
Okay. That's good.
That's good?
That's good.
All right.
You support your kids no matter what. I mean,
That's
even
right.
if they
Beat
are
them early.
so...
Beat them early. That way they don't get into this.
Exactly. Start them young.
Teach them consequences.
Yeah. We don't advocate abusing children here.
No, but dogs, definitely. Just kidding. We don't do dogs either.
Just cats.
All right, I think that's going to wrap this up. This is a long video. It's like 18 minutes already.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.